Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me again at the Lily Pad. It's been a little while since I posted something, and today I was feeling called to draw a card, a theme card from my mythology deck. I love this, and the card that came out is, um, can you see that? Venus and Eros, or Cupid. I'm sorry, let me see. There we go. Um, Escaping from the house of Venus's father, and in order to do in for their lives, like they're running for their lives. And Eros, remember, is Venus's son. So these are two different forms of love, and they're escaping from the house of her father, escaping, running for their lives, and they hop onto the back of dolphins, and the dolphins carry them through the water to another place, which we don't know yet in this card. And so what this is talking about, and then let's look at the little illustrations, and you can see that. Let's see here. I'm doing it backwards. Here there is a man with a woman who is his partner or his wife, and he's passing a note on the sly to another woman, which would be, treachery of some sort. And then over here we have a soldier who's guarding a ship, and he notices that the ship is not tied down; it's not secure. So those just are the side illustrations, which we'll get to. But basically, what this tells me, the theme for our reading right now, and the theme for what's going on for all of you, is a shift in love. And Venus and Eros running for their lives, escaping the house of the father. When we escape the house of our parents, of those that came before us, what it means is we're breaking old patterns. We're breaking out, breaking free. It reminds me of how when our heart is broken, it actually breaks open. And what that allows us to do is love more deeply, more fully, more authentically. And unfortunately, in order to get to that higher experience, or more authentic experience of love, we have to struggle away from what we've been taught, what we've known, the structure that holds us in, an outdated way of thinking, or at least a way of thinking that isn't working anymore. So on the one hand, there's this challenge, we know that there's a lack of authenticity, right? We've got the small picture of the man passing notes, and that's not love, right? I mean, we can make excuses and say, and have our explanations for, well, they're together for this reason and that reason. But I think we've moved into this era where we're beginning to recognize that that authenticity is necessary, or at least it's valued. For me, it's valued, and if you're watching this, then you would share some of these values to whatever degree you do. That life is, or that not that life is too short to not be with the one you love, but it's more like, when you're with someone and you're playing these little games, and you're manipulating people's feelings, love is not present in that. That is, and even I've been through these experiences when someone is doing that and playing games, and they kind of break up with you, or walk away from you, and then they come back, and there's this feeling of relief, and it's like this, and this fire burns again, and you reunite, and it's so exciting and amazing, and it feels like, wow, I so love you, I missed you. And the truth is that that's not actually love, because love wouldn't manipulate, and love wouldn't play those games. Love would be with the person that they want to be with. And so, in the house of the Father, our understanding, our house of the Father, but previous versions of love involve a lot of game playing and posturing, and it's time for that to change, or at least we are experiencing that. Those of you who are watching, we're experiencing a change, and it's hard to tear ourselves away from a way that a lot of people are describing love. And especially when we're in the middle of the water, we're on the dolphins. We don't know where this is headed. We don't know where we're going to land and what it's going to look like. But one thing I can say for certain is that the experience will be more authentic, because the universe is always in a state of evolving. And so anytime there's a change, it's always, even if it's a painful change, the change is always bringing us to a higher version of our experience. And, sorry, I had a beep. So your experience of love is just getting better. Let's find out what we have to look forward to. Oh, I also wanted to point out the other little illustration on that card, which I said I would mention, but it's the soldier, and he's watching a ship that it turns out isn't tied to the dock. It's the rope is loose, or it's not there, and what that tells me is that it wasn't secure. It wasn't. It's kind of like the anchor card in the Lenormand decks, which talks about security and really anchoring yourself to and it's a sense of security and balance and stability. And what this is saying is it wasn't stable. We're always growing and changing, but whatever it was, whatever is being left behind, in whatever example has been set for you by the people you know, by your family or your friends, it wasn't working for you. And let's see, it wasn't working for you, which is why you left it behind. And it's scary, and you're brave. It takes courage. It takes courage to stand in your strength and to say, I deserve more than this. I know that there's more to love than this. All right, first card out, Queen of Swords in reverse. I'm only doing a 4-card spread right now. So, current situation. Queen of Swords is the truth teller. And when it's in reverse, I think you're mad. I think in order to, in reverse, she's like cutting, and she's like, no, this is how it is. And she's not being delicate in expressing her truth, or and she's certainly not being gentle or patient with those around her who maybe don't see things the way that she does, or maybe believe that, well, it's not really lying if you say it like this, or sorry, it's just kind of like darkness. She's very black and white in a way that's sometimes it's necessary. You know, sometimes we have to tap into that anger, that fire, that passion, even though we've got the sword here rather than the wands, which would be the fire. But the Queen of Swords in reverse is angry, and so for that reason, she's very cutting with her, and definite and black and white in her sense of truth. And so I can't remember if I said it, but sometimes that's really necessary in order to go up again. Sorry, everyone, malfunction, but we're back. So sometimes being cutting or harsh is necessary in order to go up against the house of your father, in order to break away from convention, in order to break away from the thing that everyone else is doing. And so I think 2 cards just came out. I think, gosh, it's just, I'm picking up on some very strong feelings here. And just know that what's going to come next is that you'll soothe. Right now, you're just, angry and standing up, fighting for something, and declaring your truth in a very harsh way, and not accepting anything less than what you know to be true, and showing very little mercy. And just know that that this is a temporary phase, and you can remind yourself of this, because this the Queen of Swords in reverse isn't you. It's no one's natural state. It's a distorted version of the Queen of Truth. It's necessary to break away. And soon you'll heal, and you will soothe, and you will restore the balance of truth. The next card, which is the challenge or the lesson, is the High Priestess. So interesting. Oh, here's the Queen of Swords in reverse. Here's the High Priestess. So the challenge is that, and I love this, because remember I was saying how we don't know, right? Aphrodite is escaping, and she's right now in the scene, she's in the water. Sorry, the lighting is kind of challenging. She's in the water, and we don't know where love will land. We don't know what that more authentic experience of love. We don't actually know what it's going to look like. But the High Priestess says, but you do know. You do know there was an inner sense. There was an inner sense anyway. And it was like this kind of, this urge, this urging, this feeling that told you this doesn't feel right with whatever the situation is where you currently are, and what it is that the way you're seeing love and relationship occurring around you. There was something that said this isn't right. And here, so I was holding this up to show you that here again we have the boat crossing the water, just like Aphrodite and Eros are crossing the water on the dolphins. It's again, we haven't landed there, but this card is saying, but you do know where you're going. And so I suspect you've had, whether you want to call them daydreams or I suspect you've actually had, because the moon is in the High Priestess card as well, I suspect that you've had some dreams about what love what love can look like, and the feelings, perhaps. It's not just about the way that it looks, because that can be so deceiving. And in fact, I think that is one of the characteristics of love in the house of our fathers, um, or our parents. But I suspect that you already know what it feels like. Perhaps you've just watched someone exchange words with someone that they cared about or loved, maybe strangers on the street, and you got a sense for this, you got a sense of this authenticity in that, and in that interaction, and you probably stored that in your memory bank. Or perhaps you've felt this kind of movement inside and felt, yes, like this peace, this comfort, this openness, this, you do know, you do know. And this card is saying that there's nothing to worry about. Where you're going, you will land in the place that represents a higher experience of love. You will land in an experience of love that is more true for you. And in the meantime, as you make your way across the water, it's almost like the Six of Swords card, where it's like, this is a transition period, and it's a time of quiet and stillness. And part of that quiet and stillness is to return to our breathing, to return to our rhythm, because if we've been the Queen of Swords in reverse, we need to return to it, to balance in some way. And so use this time to just rest, or do something that makes you feel good about yourself, and keep remembering what that feeling of love is. Keep remembering what it is that you desire in your love relationships. And that is where you'll land. It's coming. But the challenge is really, I don't know, the challenge is to believe it, even if you can't see it yet. And it's just yet. Okay, the next card, which is the thing that must be done, is the Star in reverse. And this card talks about the need to heal. So I'm pausing a second because I'm wanting to tap into why this call to heal is in reverse. And the thing that's coming through to me is, well, first of all, the Star is, kind of, we're seeing a nighttime scene here. And the High Priestess shows a nighttime scene as well. And we've got the moon, and we've got the star. And here we've got a few stars as well. And what it's making me think is that that there's an anxiousness, like a rush, a hurry, a sense of urgency to cross the passage and arrive at this new experience of love, something tangible. And so for that reason, it's possible that you are intellectualizing the experience of healing. And what that looks like is you come up with your plan for what you're going to do to heal, and then you talk yourself through it, and you think, oh yes, well, I'm going to take a bath, and I'm going to rest, and I'm going to make a plan to get together with friends, and I'm right. It's like you have a checklist of all the things that are for your healing, and so you look like you're going through a healing process. But on the inside, your thoughts are still spinning and you're still feeling this urgency and this anxiousness. So, true healing, in order to flip the star card back, right side up, what you need to do is release the sense of urgency. True healing is when what's happening despite whether you're taking a bath or getting together with friends or, doing calming, peaceful things, whatever you do, it doesn't matter. It's whether whether the storm on the inside, the knots and the thoughts and the energy that's like whipped up, it's when that calms down, when that returns to peace, that is the healing. So, there's no need to rush. There's no need to rush this process, this passage, because also the star, if you remember, the star, I don't know why I said if you remember. I think in some way we all remember what it feels like to follow your star. It's, the three wise men followed the star. The star shows up in all kinds of myths and stories. And, dating way back in civilization, it's the guiding light for all of us. And when we're following our star, it doesn't matter where we go. We can always see it. And it's like it calls to us and we just go. It's our guiding light. And as the guiding light, one way of describing it is that it is it's like a magnetism or a homing device. It will always point you in the direction where you belong. All you need to do is quiet yourself enough so that you can sense it and it will pull you. Or what you need to do is just step into that magnetic pull, step into that flow, step into the river and float, and the river will naturally bring you where you need to be. So I like that because we've got the passage over water. And so what you need to know is that this is not a passage that requires anything of you. The passage will carry you exactly where you need to go. And it will, with no effort on your part. All you need to do, like imagine being in a river, all you need to do is just relax and float. And any greater effort than that on your part will actually counteract the process. It will get in the way. It will make things more confusing or strenuous. It won't help, and it will make it actually take longer. So just relax and flow. You're coming home. You're on your way. Oh, the feeling just shifted from this like tension, and it's like I could feel all the hairs on the back of my neck standing up, to this kind of like pause, but it was a really tense pause, to this feeling of relief. It's like the shift has occurred. And the King of Swords in reverse. The outcome. So here we have more stars. And in this card, we have a woman, a female king. I love that. The person who illustrated this deck does that with the kings. She has women and men. And what she's doing, well, here, I'll hold it up, is that she's stitching stars to her skirt. So, interesting. King and Queen of Swords. I think what the outcome is, everyone who's watching, this is telling me that you're swimming in that river. You've taken the star that is really just this very natural magnetic pull, and you've taken it and you've attached it to some thread and you're sewing it into your skirt so you won't lose it, and then oh, there's that star and that star and that. You're, rather than following the star needs to be free to go where it needs to be. Your job is not to grab the star, hold the star, put it in a bottle, stitch it to your dress. Your job is to follow the star. But it's almost like you want to make sure that this is successful. So you've grabbed that star, you've grabbed a bunch of other ones too. You can see all these. And she's got this big needle right here, this sewing needle. And what this card has done is it's going to confuse the journey. How can you follow that many stars? There's just one. And there's only one that's for you. And it's going to be the one that pulls you. But if you've got all these other stars, it will be very difficult to discern which pull is yours. And it might just be that thing where you end up going around in circles. I mean, the stitches go around and around and around on this skirt, the skirt of this dress. You might end up going around and around, like circling the globe, circling the drains, circling the oceans, and you don't need to. Let's have a little bit more, please, on the King of Swords. But it's like you want to take charge of this. To me, that's what the king is. Like, I'm going to master this process of truth. But you're not in your truth. This king is not in his truth. There are no shortcuts. Every shortcut is a long cut. The fastest way to get to the love that you want to experience is to find a way to let what's inside of you settle down. I don't know what your process is. Maybe you need to go away for a weekend, or maybe you need to watch some funny movies, or paint, or I don't know. Truly though, that's your job right now. Settle down, soothe your feathers. Okay, King of Swords, let's have some clarification. Any effort you put towards the goal of healing will actually make it take longer. Do not make healing your goal. Make enjoying yourself the goal. Okay, and then more reversals. Yikes. I say yikes because maybe I'm making it sound easier than it is. And I don't mean to. I go through it too. Oh, I really do. Okay, so we've got the Strength in reverse and the Empress in reverse. And these two cards are really, they're saying the same thing. The Empress in reverse, especially, oops, this one. The Empress, when she's right side up, is playful and joyful, and she's that mother figure who, rather than scolding her children and like disciplining them, instead, if you all are familiar with the it's an Easter book, so we just had it out recently. The bunny with the golden shoes, and the mother has like 13 baby bunnies, and she's a single parent, and and she teaches all the bunnies to do like to do the housework, and basically so that all the baby bunnies are trained to completely be self-sufficient without their mother bunny. But she does it all with this sense of fun and play and joy um, anyway. The point is that the Empress right side up is one um, who gets things done in this very playful and in this playful way. She embraces her humor, and and it's like she can dance. She dances with problems. She dances with her challenges. It's that kind. She plays with them. She dances with them. Whatever that means to you. Think of an example of that kind of character in your life. And she's not like a Pollyanna about it. It's more just her strength and her power really comes from her sense of play, her lightness of being. And so when the Empress is in reverse, it's like all of a sudden that sense of play and lightness of being is not accessible because we have decided that no, we are going to accomplish this goal. And perhaps you've become laser focused on achieving something, or yeah, you, for those of you watching this, it's like you're attacking this problem, and that's not what this problem calls for. In fact, this isn't a problem at all. This quiet passage along the river or along the ocean, the water, isn't a problem. It's just a period of time. It's the length of time that it's going to take you to drive from one location, from point A to point B. And you can't beam you up Scotty to get to the other spot. You just have to enjoy the ride. So, yeah. Yeah. This is not a problem to be fixed. This is like just a short journey, a short car ride for you to look at the scenery, read a book, pretend it's a train ride. Then you don't have to worry about or maybe you like road trips. Either way, your only work right now as it pertains to this situation with love is to enjoy the car ride and do something on this car ride. Listen to a book on tape that you've been wanting to listen to, or roll the windows down and play some of your favorite music and like open the sunroof, wear your shades, stop at some fun restaurants for food, get ice cream, get blizzards, the things with like the mix-in candies. Yum. Uh, have some fun. Just, this is like a big time out for you. And when I say big, I don't mean that this isn't going to take a long time. You're just going from point A to point B. You'll be there before you know it. So, or if you think about a train ride, or a plane ride even, look, like you're stuck on that plane. You're stuck on that plane until it lands. So watch a movie, find one that's good, or get the book out that you brought and read the book. And before you know it, and have the soda that you were thinking about having. Sometimes anyway, I don't like to drink soda, but sometimes when I'm on a plane ride, I'll have a Coke and it's so good. I love it. Anyway, just do something that you love. And before you know it, you'll arrive at point B. And please know that anything you do to try to hurry this process along, to try to get there faster, is going to slow you down. There's no way to make this go faster, and you don't want it to anyway. Because it's kind of like this. It's like you don't know. They haven't told you how long this trip is going to take. And so that's really, unsettling. And what you're going to find, though, is that the plane lands just as the movie ends and the credits begin to roll. It's all going to be perfect. And then you'll land and as you're, touching down on the tarmac, you'll be thinking, wow, that was such a great story. I love that. And it will have given you an idea, or something about what you're taking in and the experience you're having during this ride, during this transition, is going to be something that you're pleased to have. It's going to be there's something about it that you'll be grateful for, and it will carry you through. It's like a great book. How sometimes it takes you a long time to open that book, and then you do, and you can't put it down. And then you put it down, and you're like, wow, that was such a beautiful story. And I don't know why that sat there for a year on my nightstand. It's like that. It might take you a minute to settle in, but once you do, you won't want to put the book down. And you'll find that as soon as the story's over and you put the book down, you look up and you're there. All right, my lovelies, my lilies, I'm going to leave it here for you. And please take such good care of yourselves. Enjoy yourselves. And daydream and get excited, because you're almost there. All right. Oh.